Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Jennings, and this is the Military Minute. Last episode that we had, we were talking about what happens if you get yourself dozed. And we talked a lot about forming your value systems and getting those in line before you do anything about starting your new job search. And some of our listeners had a few questions about that as to why that would be the first thing that we address when it comes to being downsized in some way. And really what this is all about is that if we take a step back and you think about how much of your life is actually spent wrapped up in your job. You wake up in the morning, you start to get ready to go to work, you head out the door, you're going to commute for some length of time to get to where you work. You show up at work, you're going to do your job up until lunchtime, you're going to take a break at lunch while you're at work. You're going to come back and you're going to finish the rest of your day at work, and then you're going to drive home from work at the end of the day. When you actually count up the hours of that, the average American is going to spend about 55 hours a week in activities that just surround work. And when you count that among the entire waking hours that you have every day, assuming that you sleep 8 hours a day, you're right at half of your waking hours of every single day is associated with your job and what you do. So if you're finding yourself without a job and you want to be able to make changes to where you live, how you work, what you do, all of these things that are literally occupying your headspace for half of your waking life, this is the time to do that. So if your values are saying, you know what, I'm in this particular area right now, maybe this is a good time to make a change and go someplace else, someplace where the things it is that I like to do can be done more frequently than what they are right now. Or, you know, I have always wanted to do this kind of work associated with what I've been doing, and I've never gotten the chance to do that. Those are things that can make you happy. Or I'd really like to take a chance and start my own business because I'm looking for the freedom that comes from that. Those are all reasons to get your value systems straight before it is that you go into a search, because it'll get you focusing not just on what you need, but mostly it gets you focused on what you want and how you want your life to move forward. And in the work it is that we've done in connecting employers with military veterans from the entry level to the C-suite, when we do this well and we plan this well, ultimately what we've found as a byproduct of the work that we do is that these transitions become life-changing to the people who go through them, because their work and their life start to match up a lot more closely with their value systems. And that ends up giving them a lot more energy to put into their family, to put into their life, and ultimately, when that is also tied to the kind of work they do, the work they do starts to give them energy instead of taking it out of them. Because I hear all the time from military veterans of all the things it is that we can do, that our ability to suck up different difficult jobs is sort of part of the military DNA. And that's great. You know, there may be times in your life that you do have to suck it up and do something that you don't like. But by and large, most of us don't want to live that way, at least not for very long. Most of us want to be able to go to work and do something every day that we get enjoyment out of. That when we get to the end of the day, even if we're tired, we feel like, wow, we really did something good, and therefore going back to work the next day isn't the drudgery that somebody who's having to embrace the suck every day is dealing with. So getting clear on those value systems is going to help to guide your search. Now, on the other side of this, why is this valuable for employers? Employers are interested in this because they want to hire people who get energy from what they do. Because that person who's doing their work and they're doing it in the place that they want to be doing it, they don't have to be supervised. They don't have to worry about whether or not they're getting the job done. They know they're internally motivated about it because the things that they're doing are providing the right feedback for them. So that's ultimately what we're trying to accomplish. If you have found yourself in this situation where you've been dozed, this is a great opportunity to create your own life-changing transition. And this is certainly something that our team on the Absolutely American or Corporate Gray side can help with, depending on what you're doing. But as far as this goes, that's where we embrace the opportunity, embrace the moment that we're in, wherever we are. If change is going to be put on us, nobody likes to have change forced on them. But if it's going to be put on you, then certainly, if we're going to have to go through that, let's make it the way that we want it to be, not the way it is that somebody else puts it on us. And ultimately, that's where your job security comes from. When you're controlling your life and making your own life plan and focusing on the things it is that you want to be doing and the places that you want to be doing it, then the change, if it's forced on you, isn't that big of a deal, because you're putting things in place to be constantly doing more of what you want to be doing and less of what you don't want to be doing. So for those of you who had that question, hopefully that answers it for you adequately. And we will jump into the next step on this next time we get together.
Thanks for joining the Military Minute. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you're notified when a new episode is released. Is there a topic or conversation you want discussed here on the show? Send it to me at scott.cunningham@militaryminute.us.